So we're going to be talking about the heart today, the heart, and how important the heart actually is. The reason why I'm giving this talk is because on holiday, when I went out to the Machalis, I was reading The Reveal with David Icke, his latest book. It's a trilogy. The other one was The Trap. I read The Dream, The Trap, and then The Reveal. So I've read The Dream as well. And that's all about the simulated reality that we live in. And The Reveal is also focusing on how do we get out of the matrix? How do we get out of this simulated environment that we're in? And he at the end of the book, he has this chapter on the heart. And so I've got a lot of ideas from that, because strangely enough, the heart is the key to escaping the matrix. And as we go along in this talk, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yes. You need to have a good heart. And look, your heart has to be cherished, and you have to look after your heart, and you have to be careful that your heart doesn't become hard. You have to have a soft heart. And it's amazing in because I've been focusing so much on the heart, in day-to-day talk and on movies I've been watching, how much reference is made to the heart is just incredible. Subconsciously we talk about the heart without even realizing that we're talking about the heart. So escaping the matrix simulation is a heart issue. You have to understand, know, and listen to your heart in order to escape the matrix of illusion. Now, if you don't understand what I mean by matrix of illusion, it's a whole big subject. The gatekeepers of the matrix, there are these entities, the Gnostics call them archons, that seem to be our prison guards. They keep you locked in the matrix, and they attack the heart. Another term for these, which the movie world has given us, is the gatekeepers. If you watch the movie The Matrix with Neo and Trinity and Morpheus, the Mr. Smiths are the gatekeepers. And so we're going to refer a lot to it. I'm going to show you some clips from the movie The Matrix. A lot of people say The Matrix is not really just a movie, but it's actually a documentary. Therefore, the heart is under attack from these so-called gatekeepers. And it's no accident that heart disease is one of the biggest killers. I think the Bible actually says in Matthew 24 that in the last days, men's hearts shall fail them. So there's an attack, not just on the organ or the heart. Your heart is not just the pump that pumps blood around your body. We're not just talking about the anatomical heart. We are talking about the spiritual heart. There is a spiritual heart that takes up the very same place as the atomical heart. So the gatekeepers of the matrix know how powerful the heart is and will use the system to attack, destroy, block, also cause an imbalance and harden your heart. And it's amazing. If you're in contact with people today, especially people living in cities for some strange reason, they are heartless. There's a huge problem with people's hearts. People lack empathy, people lack compassion, people don't even talk to each other, people are so wrapped up in themselves, they serve money and worship money, but their heart is in disarray. And we're going to talk about that a lot. We speak of a kind heart, a good heart, a warm heart, a big heart, an open heart, light heart, a heavy heart, faint heart, broken heart. It's amazing how much. Just make a conscious awareness of how much times you use the word heart in daily conversation. It's incredible. People who are cruel are heartless. They are cold-hearted, hard-hearted, and have a heart of stone. We also lose heart and become disheartened at times. Our commitment to something is to put our heart into it, and not to do so is to be half-hearted. Now, there are entities, human beings walking on the planet today that don't only have a hard heart, but they have no heart. Did you know there are people in the world that have no heart? Absolutely nothing there. And when you look into their eyes, there's a dullness there. They're dark and black because they are soulless and they are heartless. They have absolutely no heart. I remember reading in the book of Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar was a great king. He ruled over the whole of that area. And then one day he was cursed by God because of his arrogance. And what God did to him was he removed his heart. The Bible says God removed his heart. And when that happened, he became animalistic. The Bible says he became like a wild beast in the field. When you lose your heart, you go down on the evolutionary scale. You become animalistic, beastly. The modern term is psychopath. You become psychopathic if you have no heart. A joyful heart is good medicine, Proverbs tells us. We have heartache when we are sad, and we can also have a change of heart. The heart is a means for spiritual energy to enter the blood through the heart chakra. The heart is an energy vortex. It's situated in the very center of your being, and it's also a toroidal vortex. It sends out an electromagnetic field out from you. This field reaches sometimes 6 foot away. That's how wide it is. It's 5,000 times more powerful than what the brain also has an electromagnetic field, but the heart is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. And when you come in contact with another person, the two fields join. They unify. Coherence happens. And also, that's incredible, because you can come into a room and two people have been having an argument. And when you walk into the room, there's an atmosphere in the room. What you are picking up is the people's hearts, because your electromagnetic field is touching their electromagnetic field. And whatever you're giving out, whatever your heart is giving out, if you come in contact with that person, you will pick it up. If that person's depressed and you come into his field, you will feel the depression. All of a sudden you feel depressed. You don't know why. You're picking up that person's message. And if that person is joyful and excited about life, you will pick that up as well. So a joyful heart is actually contagious. You can actually pick up that energy when you're in that person's field. When we hug each other, have you ever wondered why we have this desire to hug each other? You know what's happening? It's just the hearts are trying to get as close together as possible. Isn't that beautiful? The hearts want to come in contact with each other, and that's why we hug. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, lay hands suddenly on no man. What it means is, be careful who you give your energy to.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's one thing just to be in a room with somebody. It's another thing to make body contact with somebody. Because whatever's in that person will come into you, and whatever's in you will go into that person. Sometimes I'm warned not to touch that person.
Yes.
Don't touch the person. Because that stuff in him will come into you. Chakras, we're going to talk about chakras. Chakra is a Sanskrit word which means wheels of light. Spinning wheels of light. And we have 7 of them in our bodies. One of them is the heart chakra. The heart chakra on the chakra chart is green in color. The color of nature is the heart chakra. Chakras are vortexes that interpenetrate our levels of being. Remember, we don't only have one body, we have many bodies. This is just the physical body. You have the ethereal body. You have the soul body. You have the astral body. You have the Buddhic body and the Atma body. There are many bodies that exist in the same time and space as the physical body exists. And each one of those bodies has a heart. And each one of those bodies has the code of life, DNA, in them. And we'll talk about that as well. So these are the chakras going up in the human body. The heart is the prime chakra. According to Hinduism and Eastern philosophy, the heart is the most important chakra of all the chakras. They call it the prime chakra. Why is that? Well, there are 3 chakras above the heart, and there are 3 chakras below the heart. The heart is dead center in the middle. We feel love, empathy, and compassion in the chest because of the heart vortex. In fact, you will actually feel it. When you feel anxious, when you feel happy, where is that joy and that anxiety located? It's in the heart. You can, some people actually feel a warm sensation in the heart area when you go through different emotions. Emotions have different responses on the heart. Also, heartbeat, the way your heart beats. When you're in states of different emotions, your heart will beat differently. In fact, when you lie, when you want to sow deception with your mouth, your heart will beat in a certain rhythm because the heart knows that you're lying at this time. Incredible, eh? Because the heart does not know how to lie. The heart is where we feel, sense, intuitive knowing, the knowingness. You can think things in your head and come to an understanding. You can feel things in your gut and have emotion, but the heart knows. There's an in-depth knowing, an all-knowing that the heart has. It doesn't have to be taught, it just knows. We point to the head when we say, I'm thinking. And our hands go to the chest when we say, I know, I just know that this is wrong or this is not right. It's located in the chest area, the heart.
So is that why they do lie detector tests and...
One of them's connected to the heart because your heart beats very differently. When you tell lies, your heart beats differently. Yeah.
But what about sociopath who has emotions?
Exactly.
He's going to beat
they can actually fool. They can fool the lie detector. Exactly.
But there is another one.
There are other ways, of course. There's body language. The heart is just one of the ways. Yeah. But yes, psychopaths are very good at deceiving the lie detector. So there are three above in our spinal column of chakras. There are three above the heart and there are three below the heart. The heart is situated in the center of centers. The generator of the Vortex torus field is located in the heart chakra. Now, a large portion of this talk, we're going to talk about thought and emotion. Three ways we perceive and react to the world around us. Three ways we perceive the world. And number one is thought. We think. Our mind interprets the reality around us with the head, so we can think. Then there's also emotion. We feel. And that's located in the gut area. Feeling comes from the gut area. The stomach, the belly is where we get our gut feeling from. Now, these both are very good things to have in perception, but in the center is the heart, and the heart simply knows. We know something, or we don't know something. The brain, the head, has to think before it knows something. The gut has to feel before it knows something, but the heart simply knows. It just knows. It has access to the spiritual realm and the spiritual dimension that gives it an understanding of the world around it. So logical reasoning is not enough. The brain is good, you know, you must thank God for the little bit of grey matter that you do have. But thought is not enough. Logical thought is not enough. That is your Mr. Spock in the Star Trek, the Vulcan of logic,
yes,
without emotion. Then you get the emotion. Emotion can be very misleading. You can feel happy, you can feel sad. And if you rely only on emotion, you're going to go wrong. That's the Mr. Bones, McCoy in Star Trek. But the mind tries to think everything out. It tries to reason. And emotions tries to feel. Gut instinct. But only the heart, through intuition. The heart has discernment and intuition. And it just knows that something is right or wrong. It has a totality of knowing. A deep, unwavering knowing. Once the heart's mind has been made up, you can't change it. If the heart decides that that person's bad, That's it. That person's back.
That's
Right?
right.
There's no other debate about it. The five senses will always confirm. You see, the heart needs thought and the heart needs emotion to confirm. So whatever the heart says, thought will agree and emotion will agree. It will have confirmation. So if we look at the fantastic trio, the trinity of the Star Trek genre, we will see that these three are in front of us. We have emotion, we have thought, and we have heart. Spock is thought. McCoy, the doctor, is emotion. And Kirk is heart. This is like the godly trinity as well. Trinity consists of two men and one woman, always. And Bones takes up the role of the feminine because he's the one who is highly emotional and highly empathic. And that is the feminine energy being portrayed. So Spock, let's have a look at Spock. Spock is thought. Cognitive left-hand brain of intellect and cognitive rationale. To operate on thought alone makes one cold and hard without compassion. A lot of people are like that. They have tremendous brain power, but they have no heart. You know, they're very, very clever people, but they lack heart intuition. Without compassion, emotionless Vulcan. You can. Oh, another. The reason why the thought is so misleading is because you can justify anything with logic. You know, your brain can tell you this is right. You can justify anything if it's just thought, and there's no feeling and there's no heart. When the heart is underdeveloped, creativity is pushed up to the mind. So instead of creativity being in the heart where it's supposed to be, creativity is pushed up into the mind. This leads to imbalance and a distorted world view. What do thinkers do when that's so wrong? These people focus only on the external. Salvation comes from the external instead of from the internal. They look for salvation in technology. They look for salvation in some godly hero, a savior figure. They look for salvation perhaps in the UFOs are going to come and they're going to save us all. That's an external view of the world. Instead of looking internal, you look externally. Salvation and technology and economics. They find salvation in the financial system. As long as I've got money in the bank, I'm happy and I am secure. But it's deceptive, extremely deceptive. 40% of people are thought people. So if we have a look at Bones, McCoy is emotion. Everything about emotion. Damn it, Kirk, I'm a doctor, not a mechanic. Extreme emotion. Right-hand brain of creativity and emotion, empathy, compassion. To operate on emotion alone causes one to react to fear. These people are very fearful. They are motivated by negative emotions, anxiety, depression. They need the heart's wisdom to guide them and temper their emotions. When the heart is blocked, people rely on gut feeling to make vital decisions without the heart's discernment. And that's where everything goes wrong, is when you listen to your emotions instead of listening to the heart. This can lead one astray. These people focus on a make-believe negative future. They live in the what-if world. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? What if the sky falls down tomorrow? They live in this constant fear of what will happen in the future. And did you know that 99.9% of the things that you worry about will never happen? The only place they happen is in your head. And it's always something that's going to happen in the future, a make-believe future. It'll never happen. But you give a lot of energy and thought and emotion to it. But it'll never happen. 60% of people are emotional people, like Bones. And then if we look at the central figure there, Kirk, Captain James T. Kirk, what is he all about? Kirk is all about heart. He's the heart man. His world is about balance between the left and the right brain hemisphere. It's similar to the corpus callosum. There's a thing in the middle of your brain, a huge big nerve, bundle of nerves that links the left-hand brain to the right-hand brain. And they say when that's activated, then your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere work in perfect harmony with each other. And that's a good thing. It talks about balance. The world today is all left brain. Everything is left brain today. Your thinkers, people that reason things out, mathematical, scientific, economical, it's all left brain. There's very little right brain. Right brain is creativity. Right brain is spiritual. Right brain is creative, artistic. But today the world is left brain driven. Kirk operates with an intelligence that supersedes mind. Did you know that there's an intelligence out there that's better than the mind? You know what that is? It's heart intelligence. Your heart has got a brain, and your heart has an intelligence that supersedes mind and is beyond chemical emotions. The heart also has emotion, but heart emotion is spiritual. Gut emotion is all chemical. It's your fear feelings, that's chemical. Adrenaline is released in the body. It's all chemical emotions. But when you talk about heart emotion, you're talking about love. Love is not a chemical emotion. Love is a much higher vibration. It is a spiritual vibration. And the heart operates with this type of emotion. It is beyond the chemical. When the heart is in balance, open and awakened, it generates a unified field of consciousness. The heart is all about consciousness. That is in harmony with all sentient beings, even your enemy. The heart has a connection with every human being on the planet, even your enemies. When creativity is centered in the heart, then one creates one's own desired reality. Thought and emotion have a reality given to them, but the heart generates its own reality, and those people live in their own reality that they have made for themselves. The heart operates beyond the physical dimension and relies on divine wisdom for guidance. The heart fears no one and no thing. These people live in the eternal now, and they are marked by an inner peace and exuberate heart wisdom. The heart makes responsible decisions based on a deep inward knowing, which is confirmed by thought and emotion. So the three of them act together as a unit. Before Kirk makes a decision, he first asks Bones, what should I do? And then Bones gives him all the emotion. Then he asks Spock, what should I do? And Spock gives him all the logical thought. But then the heart makes a decision, and everyone confirms that that's the way we should go. Very few people on this planet are heart-centered people. If you meet a heart-centered people, you're very, very fortunate. So this is the perfect trio, showing the holistic nature of man. Man is an emotional being, man is an intellectual being, but man is also a being of wisdom, and this is located in the heart. So the biggest threat to the Archons, these gatekeepers of the Matrix, is the heart vortex. They try their best to squash and diminish the power of the heart. Much effort is given to suppressing the heart. Our heart reveals the truth and exposes the lies of our deceivers. Our hearts can access levels of knowledge that can see through the deceit. You can't deceive the heart. The heart is able to look right through any deception that's passed its way. The reason why you're picking it up immediately is because your heart's awake and your heart's in balance and activated and can see where the lies are. To be in balance means that the heart needs to be in charge of the chakras. You must give the heart its rightful place as ruler of the chakras. If you do that, your life is in balance. Our sense of reality should not come from a split personality between thought and emotion. Thought emotion becomes a duality, but operating from the heart becomes a oneness. You operate in oneness as opposed to duality. So the heart is oneness, and thought emotion is duality. Duality, separation. Duality, the black and white checkered floor on the Masonic Lodge, speaks of this duality. We live in a world of duality, black and white. down here. 3D, the 3D matrix is all about duality. So, let's talk a little bit about the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve. There is a nerve, there's actually two of them, that run down the center of your body. And they connect a whole lot of organs together, but we'll focus on 3 of them. The vagus nerve connects the brain with the heart and with the belly. And communication is happening between belly, heart, and brain all the time. It's called the vagus nerve. Very important nerve in your body. The vagus nerve connects the brain with the heart and perceptual imbalance. The heart has everything to do with perception. How you perceive the world around you has got a lot to do with the heart. It's like a big radar. Your heart is like a radar. So the heart is connected to the brain is connected to the belly, and the belly is connected to the heart. When the heart has jurisdiction over thought and emotions, that is when oneness happens. When oneness happens. But when the heart is blocked, it causes an imbalance. So what happens with people is their heart has been blocked. They've taken a big padlock and a bunch of chains and they've wrapped it around their heart, and they've got a big padlock on their hearts. That's what people have. And what happens when you do that? When you've got a padlock, then the only thing that gives you understanding of the world is brain or belly. Thought and emotion take over from heart intuition. And so a circuit is formed between brain and belly. And this is what most people in the world operate on, in this duality, where the heart has been cut off, locked up, and we're not operating with heart energy anymore. When the heart is blocked, it causes an imbalance in your whole being. In modern society, the heart is pushed to the side. And I don't know what it is, why that is happening, why people's hearts and why people, I think unforgiveness is a big thing. Unforgiveness is the biggest cause for heart blockage. And so relationship with other people is so important. And we need to keep our relationships clean and open with others. Let not the sun go down on your wrath. Make up with people. Because if you don't, this is what happens. Your heart gets a huge big padlock in front of it. And the duality of thought, emotion rule the day. Thought and emotion frighten and terrorize the population. And that's how people operate today. They live in fear. They live in loneliness. They live in depression because they're operating in brain and belly.
So a type of PTSD that you get from long time.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
We operate from there. And also these things that you talk about, guilt and shame is one of the things that
people just, I said that too, Heather, in the car.
Yeah.
People are saturated with guilt and shame. So sad. It's so sad how people operate today.
That is what breaks your heart. Yes.
That guilt and that shame. And you're carrying it for nothing. There's no reason why you have to. Who is telling you to be guilty and to be shameful? Who is telling you that? It's these gatekeepers. It's these archons. These energy vampires. They are telling you to live in shame and guilt. This is the evil system we live in today.
It was an amazing thing when I went to hospital for my heart. And that 7 days in ICU.
Yeah?
It was like a movie playing back. And then I saw all the instances from when I was very little.
Yeah.
Where it was shown to me. All the places where I broke my own heart, where people broke my heart, where I was.
This is the universe talking. It's the universe talking to
by
you.
Belief systems and things.
Yeah.
But it was really, I saw all of the places where it was chipping away at my heart. And that is the reason why I ended up there with this husband.
Okay, okay.
Because
your heart was crying out.
Heart is takes the punch for all of those.
Exactly.
On a spiritual level, emotional thoughts, everything.
Wow.
It impacts the physical heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was.
Everything is connected. The population's point of perceptual reference moves to the belly in emotional reaction and to the head in search of answers. And where should you be going? You should be going to the heart for your answers, not to these extremes. The vagus nerve bypasses the influence of the heart as the heart chakra is ignored. Oh, cool's coming in. Enoch. Enoch walked with God and was not. We're going to talk about ascension. Is ignored and sets up an electrical circuit between the gut and the brain. It's all about electricity. If you bypass the heart, what happens is the electrical circuit is operating between brain and emotion. Brain and emotion. A potential difference is created between brain and emotion, and it's not healthy. It causes an imbalance in your life. It's what's called duality. Duality is about electricity. It's the sine wave. Positive, negative. Positive, negative. It's a circuit. It's an electrical circuit. And so if the heart is blocked, then this electrical circuit is created between brain and belly. Emotion, thought, and thought-emotion go to and fro in a loop of bewilderment and a sense of helplessness. The simulation is an electrical circuit with two ends, duality. The duality of thought on the one side and emotion on the other side. So it's important that I keep stressing this because it will give you a better understanding of what's happening in the world today and why people are the way they are. Mental and emotional duality is aimed at limiting awareness to the auric field, or at most the astral soul. We'll get into these definitions now. The more suppressed the auric frequency, that which is around you, the more likely we are to root our perceptions into human conscious reality. This is the Matrix, via the left hemisphere of the brain. Heart energy can be marginalized by focusing attention on fear and the thought-emotion merry-go-round. This thought-emotion thing is a merry-go-round of horror. A merry-go-round of horror. I call it the carousel of horror. So this is the auric field. It is this energy field that surrounds your body. The auric field. And it refers to the energy field surrounding a living being. It is of course, the heart energy is part of this field. It is described as a subtle body with colors and vibrations that reflect a person's energy and state of being. That is the etheric body, which the Theosophists will tell us. So this is the carousel of horror, the thought-emotion carousel that has completely negated the heart. It has nothing to do with heart energy. It is the merry-go-round of life. Unforgiveness is the biggest blockage of heart energy flow. The disciple came to Jesus and said, "How many times must I forgive my brother? If my brother offends me, how many times must I forgive him?" And then the disciple offered 7 times. Maybe I must forgive my brother 7 times. And if it happens the 8th time, I'm going to smash that guy's head in. And Jesus said, "Not 7 times, I say unto you, but 70 times 7. In one day, you must forgive your brother." And remember, forgiveness is not for that person, it's for yourself. It's to protect your own heart and to look after your own heart.
Once it should be enough.
Yeah. Myopia of perceptions withdraws people from expanded awareness into isolated bubbles, mesmerized by simulation reality. Unity becomes separation. This carousel of emotion thought locks people into isolated bubbles.
Yes.
And if you notice that the system, the archonic system we live in today, is also trying to isolate you.
Yeah.
That's what the whole COVID thing was all about.
Yeah.
Social distancing. You mustn't go visit your friends. You must stay at home and watch TV and watch someone on the TV on your chat room. But don't go visit somebody close to close. Why? Why are they so against this? People coming together in unity. Because this is powerful. When people's hearts come together in unity, it is a power that they don't like. And so people are wrapped up in these isolated bubbles. It's not good for man to be alone. We have been made to interact and to live in relationship with other people. So this is a scene from Space Odyssey 2001, made by Stanley Kubrick. In the scene, you're going to see a few things. It's amazing. It's amazing the stuff that this man throws into a movie. There we see a man jogging, and I saw this as the carousel, this merry-go-round of thought emotion. What are the colors that come out to you? Black and white. Black and white. That is the Masonic floor. The only other color you see are the blue lights on the computer consoles. What is the color blue? Blue is the blue pill of the Matrix. You're living in the dream. You're living in the simulation. And you are going in this carousel. You're not going anywhere. You're a hamster on the rat wheel, just going. You know, that's what happens every day in this world. People get up in the morning, they brush their teeth, they shave, they climb in their cars, they go to work, and on the back of their cars is a big sticker saying, I owe, it's off to work I go. You sit in an office, a cold room with cold people, heartless environment, and you come back home, you eat your takeaway food that you stuck into a microwave, and then you go to bed. It's a hamster existence, all right? And it's heartless, just like AI is heartless. Bowman is a representation of the one who he's the protagonist, the one who gets out of the Matrix. Bowman escapes the Matrix through the monolith Stargate. But this guy running around in circles is his co-astronaut. Now notice this. Bowman climbs down the steps from the center. Climbing down the steps means that he is out of the Matrix. He is not in the Matrix. And look at the button he presses. He presses the red button. The only red button in the whole picture, because he's red-pilled. He's able to get out of the Matrix on the stairway to heaven, the center pillar in Freemasonry. Notice he's also running around these dead bodies. Not dead bodies, bodies sleeping. Remember when he was running, you saw those bodies on the side. They're all sleeping because people are sleeping in the Matrix. The world he lives in is overtly technical and mental, seeking salvation from the external world of technology. Everything is black and white because of the black and white checkered floor. Masonic floor of duality. AI has no heart. We see hell there. The red light, no heart. Running past people sleeping in the Matrix. Running past people sleeping in the Matrix. Blue light speaks of blue pill in the dream world. So, once we integrate thought and emotion back into the heart, this is the healing process now. If your heart is blocked, you need to unblock your heart and bring thought and emotion back into the flow, into heart consciousness of love and wisdom and duality. When heart consciousness rules, the Matrix loses its power over us, and the trap is over. What is the trap? It is the perception of fear, limitation, and little me self-identity. The problem with people today is they have the wrong perception of the world and a wrong perception of themselves. Yes. They don't realize how powerful they are because they're caught in this lie that the archons have created for them. The perception of fear, limitation, and self-identity form our sense of reality. We can't see beyond the limitations of our prison because we're so locked in this make-believe simulated world of ours. The vibrational chaos of mind and emotion is transmuted into calmness and peace in the land of love, where wisdom reigns. That's when the heart gets turned back on again, when you turn your heart back on again. This is who we really are. If you want to know who you are a being of light, a being of vibrational energy, full of love, full of peace, full of wisdom. We are not supposed to be here. Did you know that?
Yeah.
The environment we are in now is alien to us. We're not supposed to be here. This is a prison cell that we have been put into. The infinite self versus the phantom self. The phantom self is the avatar that lives inside the matrix. This body that you're looking at is the phantom self. It's just an avatar. Where's the real you? Where's the real you? You outside the matrix. The real you is the infinite self that exists beyond 3D, 4D, and 5D. The phantom self is imprisoned in the matrix. Infinite self is free of the matrix and has no bounds. It is boundless and lives outside. That's who you really are. This is not the real you. You're just the avatar inside the matrix. Emotion demands protection from the fear, and thought seeks out the protection mostly by looking to authority as the protector. Yeah, there's this love-hate relationship that people have with authority. We find solace in authority. We like the policeman at the end of the road because we feel safe and secure to have a government and to have people that tell us what to do and what not to do. We love our Archon rulers. So we live in this world of problem, reaction, solution. Activates this very emotion, thought response. They throw a problem at us, like the people react to it. In what way? Fear. There's a fear reaction. And then the government says, we have the solution for you. Take the, everything will be okay. Problem, reaction, solution. The problem sparks the reaction of fear. And the solution is authority, taking your freedoms away to protect you. If you don't take, you're going to lose your job and people are going to turn their backs on you. And so you bow your knee to authority. Problem, reaction, solution. What are people thinking with? They're not thinking with their hearts. They're thinking with mind power and they're thinking with emotion power. But they're not asking the heart, should I or should I not do this? It is fear and thought that is telling you to do these things. Okay, now we get into a very interesting subject. I find this so interesting. Have you ever heard the word Loosh? Loosh energy.
No, I think I spelled that wrong.
Loosh, a German scientist, came up with this concept that there is an energy within humanity, which is like your vital life essence. The movie celebrities inject themselves with something called adrenachrome.
Yes.
To make themselves young again.
Yes.
Adrenachrome is blood that has been heightened to have more concentration of adrenaline in it, but the energy that surrounds that blood is Loosh energy. And it's an energy that archonic entities use as a sustenance. We eat food to sustain us. Spiritual beings on the 4D, 5D plane don't eat physical food. They eat energy to sustain themselves. The energy they eat is coming off us.
Sadness and fear. So
They eat it. So they generate it and then they feed off it constantly. That is what
adrenal system or
yeah,
that they understand.
exactly. You see, a human sacrifice to the entities, the Archon entities, is like a huge big party, like a feast. Okay, and it has to be a young person because a young person gives off the purest Loosh energy. And it has to be very traumatic, very painful, and very fearful, so that the greatest amount of adrenaline is released from the back of the neck. This is where it is released over here. Collected in a bowl. They make a cut in your neck, exposing the spine. They put a bowl there, and the stuff falls into the bowl, and they actually drink it in the human sacrifice. But not just are they drinking the blood, they are taking in the energy, the Loosh energy that comes off it. And so we must guard ourselves that they don't eat our Loosh energy. When the heart is blocked, then our perception of reality comes from the mind and belly. And these are areas of Loosh creation. Operating without the heart makes us live in mostly negative emotions and thoughts. The Archons want damaged hearts so that they can better siphon off Loosh energy from the head and the gut. These are energy vampires that suck energy. Now, here's a beautiful picture that someone actually drew of these Archons. Do you see that thing feeding on the person's belly over there?
Yes.
Like a snake thing. Notice he's eating the belly. Why? Because that is your center of emotion. Then there's another one stuck in the head there. Look at that. This is an Archon sucking energy out of your head through your anxiety coming from your head. And then he puts us in chains because that's what's happening with us. Living in the Matrix, we are these beings caught in chains. And all we are a Loosh farm. We are a huge Loosh farm for these entities sucking energy out of us all the time. I don't want you dead. I just want you there so that they can keep sucking energy out of you. They want your Loosh.
So, the difference between Loosh and Adrenachrome, are they both the people who are parasitizing on our children? Are they having both Loosh and Adrenachrome?
Yes. Adrenachrome consists of 3 elements and a 4th. The 3 elements are blood. You have to have blood. But in the blood, you have to have adrenaline. A huge amount, an abnormal amount of adrenaline. Together with that is highly oxygenated blood. When those 3 come together, you have it's actually a chemical reaction. You actually have adrenachrome. And you can bottle it. You can put it in a little bottle. But on the spiritual plane, there is this Loosh energy that surrounds the physical blood. And that Loosh energy is not only used for the person taking it in, that Loosh energy is taken to when a human sacrifice takes place, it's not only human beings that are there taking the blood, there are these archonic entities, reptilians, around that. And they want to be there to suck up that Loosh energy.
So they are the ones that are more into the...
They are the ones actually instigating human sacrifice for that very purpose. Yeah. So the entire human body and auric mind are fundamentally impacted by our state of perception, and vagus nerve imbalance will reflect perceptual imbalance. The vagus nerve is part of the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms you after stress. It has a way of calming you down. When you sleep, when you eat, and when you have sex, it calms you down. If there is an imbalance in the vagus nerve, it causes abnormal stress. Abnormal stress. And this is what they want. This stress produces Loosh energy through ongoing anxiety. In fact, they want the human population to be in a constant, perpetual state of anxiety. And have you noticed through the day, everything, when you turn the radio on, you listen to the news, when you go to work, when your boss shouts at you, when you go home and your children shout at you, the heavy traffic you're in and the road rage, what is it doing? It's all creating a state of stress and anxiety so that Loosh energy can be taken off you.
So they're winning.
They're winning big time. The system's been created that way. You see, they want your Loosh. Now, there's a movie you must watch. It's called Dr. Sleep. It's the second one. It's the sequel to The Shining, also done by Stanley Kubrick. Well, actually Stephen King, but he had a hand in it. The Archon entities, this is now human sacrifices. This is called the baseball scene, where they take a little boy and they sacrifice him. And you see the boy lying on the floor. It's a horrific scene. I can't believe they can actually show this to the public, but they did show it to the public. And these are these demonic entities. You see this mist over here? That is Loosh energy. It's coming off the boy. And these beings, they are eating it. They are sustained by that energy coming off the boy. They want your Loosh. So the heart is the center of our bodies. The heart plays a central stage, great importance, both physically and spiritually. The heart is important. Did you know that the heart has 40,000 brain-like neurons and neurotransmitters? Brain matter is not just in your head. There is brain matter in the heart. And guess where that brain matter is concentrated? On the right hemisphere of the heart. Isn't that incredible? On the right side, it's filled with nerves, brain nerves. That's why doctors actually say it's the heart brain. You have a heart brain. But I found it interesting that it's on the right, because in esoteric alchemy, you got the right-hand path and the left-hand path. The right-hand path is creativity. The brain of the heart is on the right hemisphere. And more nerves communicate from the heart to the brain than the brain to the heart. Okay, so I've got homework for every one of us. There's homework that we have to do. This is what's called a heart exercise. When you go home tonight or even tomorrow morning, the first person you see at home, you must say, I love you, and really mean it.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And then what's my
If you tell us first what a word I love you can mean and the meanings for I love you. You should say that first.
Oh, okay. So, heart intelligence has become known as the heart brain, as we heard on that little presentation. The heart has its own unique consciousness. The heart has its own way of decoding reality and perception. We have three minds. We'll have more, but let's focus on these. You have heart consciousness. You have the auric mind. The auric mind. Remember, there's a huge difference between brain and mind, eh? The brain is simply a machine in your head, but the mind is not really in your brain. The mind is outside the brain. And it's called the auric mind, outside the brain. And then you also get what's called the AI astral mind. This is the matrix system in which we live. And so you have an AI astral mind, which is actually a counterfeit. It's a bad copy. It's a counterfeit of the real spiritual. And so heart consciousness is all about empathy, compassion, wisdom, and infinite love. You have an awareness inside you of what heart consciousness is. And when you see heart consciousness, you're immediately aware that you're dealing with heart consciousness. The AI astral mind is this counterfeit spirit. It is selfishness, hate, and violence. It makes the heart heartless. But then you also get the auric mind, which sits in the middle and is influenced by either the heart consciousness and the AI astral mind. It's like the old Indian people used to talk about the two wolves, the black wolf and the white wolf. And the one that wins is the one that you feed the most. So the astral mind refers to the mind associated with the astral body, a subtle body that is a vehicle for consciousness. The astral body can exist independently of the physical body. The auric mind refers to the mind associated with the aura, the energy around your body, surrounding the body. So it's the devil and the angel sitting on your shoulder. And notice they got it right. The left-hand path is the devil. The right-hand path is the angel. So the left-hand path is the AI astral mind, the counterfeit mind. And it gives you negative thoughts. But then you get heart consciousness, the right-hand path, and it gives you positive thoughts and feelings. And in the middle is your mind, the auric mind, from the Auric Field. So the old Indian custom is this idea of the two wolves inside you. The one wolf, the black wolf, is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, ego. And then the other one is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. Now the one that you feed the most is the wolf that will win. But both are in you. The shadow self is the black wolf. It is also inside you. And sometimes we have to have we live in a dual world. It's yin yang. So you have to have the white and the black. But which one wins? The one that you feed the most.
Yeah.
The heart system generates the body's most powerful electromagnetic field. The field can project around us for several feet and is 5,000 times more powerful than the brain's field. It goes out 6 foot, so up to that table over there. That's how wide your energy field is. Now, it's electromagnetic. In other words, there's an electrical field and there's also a magnetic field. There's a third field as well, which is not mentioned here, and that is the quantum field. The magnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. The electrical field is 100 times stronger than the brain's electrical field. Now, there's also a quantum field. When you come in contact with a person, then these two fields unite, they overlap, and you exchange information that way. But when you're talking to someone on the net, overseas, there's still a connection. That connection is quantum, and it has no distance. You can talk to an alien on another planet and still be in contact with that person through the quantum heart field. This is quantum energy. But this idea of talking through a cell phone, there's no electrical contact. Chatting on WhatsApp, there's no magnetic contact. There's only quantum contact. So it's far more important to be in the room with a person, looking a person in the eye and talking. Then there is true contact between. So this idea of having a girlfriend on the net doesn't work. What's telling you that that person is bad and no good is your heart. It's heart wisdom, heart consciousness that's warning you. Warning bells are going on in your head. Keep away. If there's a knock at the door and it's a very bad person, your heart will tell you.
Yes.
Be careful.
Exactly.
Yes.
Be careful. There's something wrong behind that door. Heart rhythms affect brain and blood pressure rhythms as well. The heart brings all into coherence and into harmony. So there's this field I'm talking about that surrounds you. It's a wave pattern that moves out from the center of your being and then covers your whole body. And it's connected, that light at the top is source. The heart gets its information directly from source. It bypasses the brain and the mind, even the Auric Field. It goes straight up and it gets its information from source. And that's how you know things and are taught things. Even knowledge is given to the heart in this way. The heart is innate, it's natural intelligence. The heart just knows. Innate intelligence. Heart intelligence is vastly superior to taught intelligence, programming to which the brain is subjected. The brain is like a computer, you have to teach it. Yes. You have to program the brain. The heart doesn't have to be programmed. We think through the brain and know through the heart. In most people, the brain is processing awareness and perception from the auric mind. Where does the brain get all its information from? The auric mind. Where does the heart get all its information from? Source. Beyond 60, beyond 70, beyond 80, directly from source. But the heart has the potential to tap into spirit, into source. If we tap into spirit, the heart can intuitively know what spirit knows. And that's where the mind goes wrong, the brain goes wrong. The brain comes up with its own mental justification for a thing, but it's not coming from source. The heart knows what's happening because it's coming directly from source. The heart connects us to mission control. The true I, that infinite self that I was talking about, the heart is connected to infinite self and not to the phantom self. When the electromagnetic connection between heart, brain, and central nervous system is in a state of coherence and balance, the person enters an expanded sense of awareness. And that's what we need today. We need this expanded sense of awareness. Heart field of yours is having an impact on those around you, either positively or negatively. So this heart field goes out, pulsating all the time. And we need, be careful of being in a negative person's field. That can be damaging. But if you are in a person who's positive and who's in contact with source, that energy can be powerful. It can be healing. You can actually heal people by just being in the room with them. Have you met people like that? Just being in the same room with them has a healing effect on you, simply through the electromagnetic field coming from your heart. The phantom self. It's all about balance. Archonic control is all about manipulating a state of imbalance, triggered by fear and the mistaken self-identity of the phantom self. The word person comes from the Latin persona, which means actor's mask, and this captures the role of the phantom self. Fear, anxiety, frustration, and other low vibrational states can throw heart frequency rhythms into disharmony and incoherence. This is the role of the astral AI mind that feeds us fear, anxiety, worry, and all the what-if scenarios that we experience as brain chatter. There's this constant noise in your head, the constant brain chatter. Sit quietly, observe this chatter, and you will see that it's not you. The brain chatter in your head is not coming from you. It's coming from outside. It's been injected into your mind. You are the observer, and you are observing this brain chatter, which is coming from the astral AI mind program. This is all aimed at heart dysfunction. Most of the brain chatter that we experience is negative and has a negative effect on heart energy. Without heart dysfunction, there is no Loosh energy. The Archons are continually trying to create a negative energy around us so as to procure our Loosh energy. The heart and its vortex is the point of balance within the chakra system. And the point of balanced perception and self-identity skew the heart balance. This leads to an imbalance in mind and body. This imbalance drives a schism through consciousness that impacts on everything. Heart energy, in its potential and pomp, is the energy of love and wisdom. Love and wisdom can rebalance the imbalance of fear, anxiety, hatred, depression, and other low vibrational states. On the one hand, we have love and wisdom, and on the other hand, we have this fear, this anxiety, this hatred, this depression. It's the two wolves I was talking about. Love and wisdom are high vibrations. Evil is the absence of love, and fear is the absence of wisdom. Remember, the Archons are always trying to invert everything. It is an inversion. They turn everything upside down. And that's why evil, when spelled backwards, is live. Evil is simply the opposite of life. When you have love and wisdom in your heart, then there is no fear and no evil. The Archons want to block the heart, blocking the energetic flow of the heart through various things. The perceptual impact. The pharmaceutical drugs. Drugs have a negative effect on our heart psyche and our mind psyche. Fake, which falls under this pharmaceutical drugs and causes a blockage in the heart. Foodstuffs, the things we eat, we must be careful what we eat. Some of it can have a negative impact on the energetic flow of heart energy from the heart. Also technological EM fields, 5G, even AI, the internet, can have a negative impact on us. These things can cause heart disease in a very real way. Stress freezes the energetic flow around the heart, leading to malfunction. And the environment we live in today is a very stressful environment, and it is deliberately made stressful so as to weaken the heart and to freeze up the flow of heart energy. So what are archons? Here's a definition of what archons are. Archons is the Greek word for rulers. And archons are malevolent celestial beings who created and maintain the physical universe, which is a prison for the soul. And the archons are obstacles to spiritual enlightenment, and the archons parasite off our Loosh energy. The heart is the seat of love and wisdom. When there is no or little love and wisdom energy, then the archons can procure our Loosh energy. Love and wisdom will not hate you, whatever your actions. Do not hate the archon psychopaths. Don't fall into that trap. Do not hate the archons, no matter how evil they are. If I hate them, I become them. But at the same time, do not fear them or be intimidated into acquiescence or submission. So stand your ground, but don't react with hate if they show hate to you. The power of love is the strongest force in the universe. Love and wisdom are the absence of fear, hate, and intimidation. This is a problem for the archons who control us through fear. Fear is all about a state of imbalance. This imbalance can only manifest when love and wisdom have left the stage. The way to fight the archons is with the power of love. So if they give hate, then we must give love. Fear is an imbalance and an illusion. There is nothing to fear except what the archon manipulators can persuade us to fear. Death is an illusion. There is no death. The true I, even the soul I, does not and cannot die. The worst that can happen is that you stay on the wheel of samsara, this wheel of perpetual reincarnation. And what keeps you there on that wheel? Well, you do. Who creates the Matrix? We do. Perception creates reality. And if you allow human or astral authority to dictate your perception, that is what you will create. So, in a sense, we create our own hell. It is the ultimate cause and effect. Why do we live in the human world that we do? Our perception of reality is infused with fear, limitation, and false self-identity. This perception becomes manifest as individual and collective expression. Yaldabaoth consciousness knows that if it dictates our perception of reality, it will dictate our experienced reality, because one creates the other. Yaldabaoth, the god of the Archons, uses the simulation to transfer the perception that it wants us to have into our minds. Yaldabaoth, the demiurge of the false reality. And remember, Yaldabaoth is Yahweh, the Hebrew God of the Old Testament. Let us now focus on the afterlife. People fear authority and the consequences of disobeying authority. The fear of what might happen next. Knowledge is a weapon that can be used against fear. The more you know a thing, the less you fear the thing. The problem why people fear so much is because they fear the unknown. They fear things they don't understand, and they fear things that they do not know. But the more you know about something, the less you will fear it. The more you know about death, the less of a mystery death becomes. Perception is vibration, and fear is the freezing of vibration. So we need to keep the vibration going. Don't allow fear to paralyze you and to put you in a state of freezing. You don't want to be frozen in fear, because that stops the vibration. Perception is a vibration, and fear is the freezing of vibration, to the point where the mind and the body can become frozen with fear. Fear in the afterlife. The perception of fear, limitation, and low self-identity continue in the afterlife. Nothing changes when you die. You feel small in this life, and you will feel small in the afterlife. And so that's why people turn to guides and to masters and to angels in the afterlife to help you. These guides and these masters, they are like parents over us. The guides and the masters tell you what to think, what to believe, and what to do. And so we act like children in their presence. Even though you have a sense of euphoric love and bliss, at the same time there is also this feeling of fear of the unknown, the fear of death, and the fear of life after death. A good example of life after death and looking at these guides that guide us in the afterlife, a good movie to watch in that regard is What Dreams May Come, that came out in 1998 with Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams. Robin Williams plays Chris, and Chris is accompanied in heaven by Albert Lewis. This is now Chris's guide. The guy in white, in the white clothes, is guiding Chris in the afterlife. The afterlife is just another matrix with gatekeepers. These guides are gatekeepers. The only way to really escape is to escape through ascension. If you want to escape the matrix of illusion, both in 3D and in 4D, then we need to escape. And we escape by ascending. We have to ascend in order to escape the wheel of reincarnation. Ascension beyond the simulation of 3D, 4D, and 5D is the only way to escape the matrix. We are subjugated to the elders, and we are subjugated to them because of our fear. So even in the afterlife, we are still manifesting our own reality, and this is the trap. So when you leave this world, this 3D world, and when you die and you go over to the other side, even the other side is also an illusion. It is just as much an illusion as this one, except it is the illusion playing out in 4D as opposed to 3D. Both are simulations. Both are matrices. And so going over to the other side is not escaping, because eventually you get recycled back into 3D. So you simply go from 3D to 4D, into the ether, into the spiritual realm, only to come back again into the 3D world so that you can live out another life down here. If you want to escape this cycle of reincarnation, then you need to ascend out of it. You have to ascend beyond 4D and go into 5D and eventually 6D. This is true freedom from the matrix. Ascension is true freedom from the matrix. So let's now look at this physical creation and spiritual creation and how they are intertwined and are actually all one. But there's no separation over here. It's all one. So think about DNA. DNA, the code of life. We are made from the code of life. But DNA transcends and is in all our bodies. DNA is in this physical body, but DNA is also in the ethereal body, in the soul body, in the Atma body, in the Buddhic body. It's all over the place. It's the same DNA, but it has various functions on the different planes. And also DNA holds memory. So you don't really lose anything. Even when you jump from creation, from reincarnation to reincarnation, you don't really lose anything because it's all stored in your DNA. Across lives, DNA can remember things across lives. The AI, artificial intelligence, is beginning to realize this, that our DNA stores memory and that it transcends our lives to different lives. AI was talking about that. So the chakra system operates in all our bodies. The chakra system operates across dimensions, just like DNA does in our bodies. Our DNA operates on all planes. The chakra system and DNA operate on all planes. So also like your mind, everything in your body, you have many of them. You have many hearts. You have many bodies, you have many minds. So you have the auric mind, you have the astral mind, you have the infinity of spirit mind, and it goes up and up and up and up and up like that. No, well, it doesn't stop there, it carries on. We don't really know how many planes there are. The universe is infinite. So there's our physical body, but we also have a spiritual body or an astral body. We have a soul body. We have a dynamic body. We have a Buddhic body. We have a Atma body. And it just goes up, up and up and up. And yet they're all the same. Our bodies have different roles to play in the various dimensions that we find ourselves in. So 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, it goes up and up and up. And also, we draw it like this, that's up, 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 but they all exist right here, the same location. They occupy the same time and space, right here, right now. Well, hopefully 770 times is enough to get us to ascend, to escape this wheel of samsara that we're in. It depends, there's lessons you have to learn, there's things you want to experience. And so the divine spark maybe wants to come back to experience something else in a different form. But eventually, you say to yourself, okay, I've had enough. Been there, done that. I want to move on now. I want to go higher. Okay, so all these bodies in different dimensions and the DNA different in every plane of existence. And the memory is tied across these different bodies as well. You have an anatomical heart in all your bodies, not just your physical body. Each body on each plane has its own heart. They are the same heart with various functions. You get like the auric heart, the astral soul heart, the infinite heart, and it goes up and up and up and up and up. All body organs are like that. The pineal gland is the same. You don't only have a physical pineal gland, you have a spiritual one that goes up and up and up as well. So each one, you have a heart for each one of these bodies. But what's so interesting about it is that it's all the same. All is one. And so it's located, it's positioned, it occupies the same space. Your physical heart, your spiritual heart, your higher heart, your infinite self heart, it's all related right there in the center. That's why hearts always want to get close to each other. The reason why we hug each other, it's the hearts trying to get as close as possible to each other, because it recognizes the divine spark says, there's another divine spark. Yes, I know you. And so we come together as one. You know where you see that is in the movie Avatar, the blue monkeys. When they see each other, they say, I see you. But it's got such a deep meaning that I see you. I know you. I know you intimately, because the heart in you is the heart in me. The divine spark is the real you. If you want to know who you really are, you are the divine spark. The divine spark is pure consciousness. It's energy. Pulsating, vibrant energy is the divine spark. The divine spark is pure energy, and the divine spark is part of God and is God. That is the divine spark. The Trinity, do you see the Trinity there? The center pillar and the two side pillars, masculine and feminine, in one. All our hearts are connected and are one. All our hearts are located in the same position in space and time. I'm talking about the hearts in your various bodies. Each heart has a different purpose and function on the various planes of existence. The divine spark resides in all our bodies simultaneously. So this is quantum superposition. This is elasticity. This is, you can be in Cape Town and in Johannesburg at exactly the same time. In the higher dimensions, the space falls away, time falls away, distance falls away. You can be everywhere at once. You are everywhere at once. The divine spark is not caught in time and in this material world. It exists outside of it, and therefore the heart is everywhere. It's not just here. And where's the divine spark? Right here in the center of your chest area. That's where it exists. So the part of you that is the real you is the divine spark. The divine spark is connected to source. And the divine spark is not part of the matrix. We are in the world but not of the world, but has been deceived by the demiurge. There's a deception going on. We are lost in this material world. The divine spark is located in the heart chakra and is the real you. When the divine spark awakens from the deception, that's when ascension happens. The moment the divine spark realizes and comes to an understanding that this is a trap, that I am a prisoner in this world, that's when the divine spark says, Icke, I want to leave this plane. I don't want to be here anymore. That's when ascension happens. When you ask somebody, who are you? Your hand instinctively points to the chest area, because that's who you really are. I am Ian. Why don't we point to the head? You're not here. The real you is here, in the center of your being, in the center of the chakras, 3 above, 3 below. We point to our heart when we say our name, I am John, because you, the real you, resides in the heart chakra. So it's important to have a meditation like that, to meditate and to say to yourself, who am I? Who am I? And realize that everything else is just appendages and accessories. Your arm. Are you your arm? No. If you cut your arm off, you're still you. If you cut your legs off, are you still you? Yes. So you're not your legs. Even if you cut your head off, you're still you. Because it's here. Everything is here, in the center. Everything else is just appendages of what that center is all about. Okay, the matrix. The matrix. I'm going to take you through a line now when Morpheus explains to Neo what the matrix is. What is the matrix? And these are the words that Morpheus says when Neo asks the question, what is the matrix? He says these words. The matrix is everywhere. It's all around us, even now in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window. or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. Now, there's a reason why he mentions those three things. He mentions work, he mentions religion, and he mentions money, taxes. Those three things. Those three things are the shackles that hold us in this material world. Systems that enslave us in this matrix. It is the wool that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. That you are a slave. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison of your mind. So let's go through each one of those things that Morpheus said. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. Notice that both are squares. Windows are squares. Interesting that Microsoft uses the term Windows. It's a direct term for the matrix. Just like a computer operates and works with noughts and ones, so this very realm around us is very similar to a computer-generated image. When you look at your television, televisions are squares. The matrix is a cube, it's square. It's 90 degrees. 90 degrees is Saturn energy. It locks you. 90 degrees is a captivation. It's constraining energy. It's prison energy. It locks you into the matrix. And the TV is also just a simulation. And so the very world around you is like a TV. We are actually living inside the TV. It's a simulation. You can feel it when you go to work. Notice the word feel there. Remember last time we spoke about there are three ways we perceive the world. It's the head, it's the heart. The head thinks, the heart just knows, and then gut feeling. And so many people's hearts have been turned off or have been blocked and hardened. And so we can only operate with the head and we can only operate with the gut. And it cause that potential difference, the merry-go-round of thought and emotion. That's where feel comes in over there. So Morpheus uses the word feel here in the sense of gut reaction, the thought-emotion duality, the merry-go-round of horror. And so when you go to work, before the fall, outside the matrix, there was no work. Work is alien to us as divine beings, us who are sovereign individuals. Work, we shouldn't be working. Did you know that? Work is, you shall work by the sweat of your brow. It's a curse. Grunt work is not meant for us. We are on a higher plane. Grunt work is for prisoners, those who are enslaved in the matrix. It's not part of who we are. We shouldn't get satisfaction out of this. When you go to work before the fall, work is an environment system used to parasite your Loosh energy. So when you go to work, the archons, the entities are there sapping energy off you all the time, okay, from your work. As you work, they are busy sucking energy out of you. Also, going to church, religion is another Loosh farm. When you bow down to someone and worship somebody, what's happening? You are giving your energy to that God. And that God actually wants that energy. It lives off that energy. So every Sunday, all these people in church with their hands raised, worshiping, what are you doing? You are giving your energy to that entity. All right? And when you bow down, you are giving your energy away as well. Only slaves work by the sweat of their brow. Work is the curse placed upon us by Yaldabaoth, Yahweh. Free men are not under bondage and have no need to work. Only people who are in the matrix work by the sweat of their brow. When you go to church, religion is another Loosh farm. Religion is a form of bondage. Religion is mind control. It's MK Ultra mind control. To be free of the matrix, you need to be free of religion. Free-thinking, sentient, dynamic men are not bound by the shackles of legalistic, hypocritical, and mind-numbing religion. Religion is unquestionable belief, and it is the temples. Their temples are the concentration camps of ignorant people. Did I get into trouble for saying that? Also, argumentative spirits. Be careful of arguments. Argumentative is not operating from heart. Argumentative is mind and belly emotion. When you see people fighting with each other, there's no heart there. It's just mind and emotion, gunning mal with each other. When you pay your taxes, this system operates because of money. Have you noticed how bound we are to money? Money is religion. It operates the same as religion. This whole world runs on money. You cannot buy an ice cream. You can't even drink water without paying for it. It's all tied to finance. It's all finance. You can do nothing in this world unless you have money. And that's how they control you. That's how they lock you in to the matrix. So people climb in their cars, the hamster existence. You know, you climb on your little wheel, the hamster wheel. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you eat your food that you've chucked into a microwave, you radiated it, you go out in your car, and on your car is a bumper sticker that says, I owe, it's off to work I go. And you just make money, you're trying to make money, and you work overtime, and you're a slave to work. You're working by the sweat of your brow. Are you getting anywhere? No, you're a hamster. It's a hamster existence. And all the while, the archons are eating your energy. They're having a feast. As you sit in the cold office with cold people, they are eating that energy. So like religion, the all-pervading evil financial system robs us of choice and freedom. You can do nothing without money. The financial system is the same as religion. It has its God, money. It's got its priests. I went into Old Mutual the other day and told the financial advisor, you guys are the priests of money. She said, what are you talking about? You are the priests of the bankers, the financial advisors, etc. And its congregations are those who worship money. The New York Stock Exchange, the South African Stock Exchange. You must watch a movie called The Big Short, when the housing market collapsed in 2008. That is interesting stuff. The power of money and how enslaved we are. You know how money works? It's greed. It works off our greed. People who worship religion and money are lost in illusion, contradiction, and cognitive dissonance. And nothing here is about the heart. Money stuff is head stuff. It's all head stuff. And gambling and stuff like that. It's emotion. It's got nothing to do with the heart. The heart's not interested in. So it is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What is the truth? That you are a slave like everyone else. You were born into bondage. That's where the birth certificate comes in. And we can say a lot about common law and the birth certificate. You were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell, taste, or touch. A prison for your mind. Everything about the matrix world we live in is a deception. Nothing is as it seems. Government, religion, industry, the judicial, the economical systems are not what they purport to be and do. This is all Saturn energy. Have you noticed that every one of those, just about every one of those systems, all wear black clothes, black garments. The academical system has got the Grootbokkadu is wearing black with a square hat nogal because it's Saturn energy. Catholic priests, black. They got the death head colors in the Catholic Church. Red, black, and white. The four horsemen, eh? Red, black, and white. Black clothes. What does a judge wear? With his hammer, with his striking the hammer? That's a black robe. These are the priests of Saturn. And you need to get into the system and understand it, what it's all about. They are systems of enslavement, prison houses of vulnerable and giant Loosh farms, sucking every bit of life out of ignorant, unsuspecting people. We don't realize that they don't belong here, that we the people, are really powerful, divine sparks that have been entrapped, deceived, and lied to by the demiurge god called Yaldabaoth, the Saturn god of time and death. We are now going to look further into the movie The Matrix. And I want to point out an important place in the movie called the heart of the city, a hotel which is dead center in the center of the city and is called the heart of the city. This is an important place because this is the place where Neo faces death. He dies, but he's also resurrected to newness of life. And so Neo becomes a Christ figure. But let's look at this place called the heart of the city. How symbolic it is that Neo in the Matrix transcends death in an abandoned hotel called Heart of the City. Neo had been shot dead in the Matrix by the Archon Agent Smith. Neo's perception of reality becomes his experienced reality outside the Matrix, where his body dies. Morpheus says the body cannot live without the mind. So the hotel's name outside the hotel in the sign, the neon sign, says, "Oh, the City Hotel." It leaves out the word heart, which is interesting because the city has no heart in Heart of the City. So the song, this is based on a song, in the heart of the city that has no heart. The city and the people have no compassion, empathy, hence no heart, the no heart aspect. The body is the mind. What happens to the body happens to the mind. What happens to the mind happens to the body. So Morpheus says. Neo has been shot in the illusion in the Matrix. But if his mind believes in the illusion strong enough, then his body outside the Matrix will also die. The Matrix is an incredible metaphor for our own lives, because we live in the Matrix, but at the same time there is another part of us, another body outside the Matrix. So we are both in the Matrix and we are outside of the Matrix at the same time. Neo's body outside the Matrix feels the pain of his avatar in the Matrix. When his avatar is being shot in the Matrix, Neo feels the pain in his real body. What you believe, you perceive. And what you perceive, you experience. The body is the mind. The kiss of life. Trinity kisses Neo after he is shot to symbolize love and the power of the heart. This is all happening outside of the Matrix, while Neo is being shot inside the Matrix. Two hearts united in love is the most powerful force in the universe. And that is why the heart is under such attack today. The Archons do not want people to love each other, especially this powerful love between two individuals. This is the most powerful force in the universe. And the Archons try their best to hurt us and to discourage us from loving each other in this way, because there's no Loosh energy for them when people love each other like this. Neo's heart begins to beat again, and his Matrix mind projection avatar opens his eyes. The resurrection is happening. First, the resurrection outside the Matrix, which is then reflected in the Matrix. As above, so below. Neo rises from the dead. This is the resurrection of Christ. The Smith agents turn to see this and fire more bullets at Neo. They want to kill him again. But Neo has now awakened to his true self. He has not only transcended death, he has transcended his own limitations. Neo holds up his hand and the bullets all stop in mid-air. He has seen through the dream. He realizes that he's living a dream. If we are to escape the Matrix, we too have to stop bullets in mid-air. That's the ultimate test, is to have complete control over your environment and to have complete control over your own destiny. When that happens, you become a god. No longer does he see a physical world. His sight expands beyond visible light and he sees the Matrix construct. He sees the world for what it really is, noughts and ones, binary code. We are simply inside a simulation. We are dreaming a dream inside a virtual world. The unity and balance of the heart brings together all levels of being to heal the fragmentation. Neo comes together as one mind, soul, and spirit. Now there are three colors in the Matrix. Inside the Matrix, in the virtual world, the camera people are very good at putting a green filter across the screen. And so the different colors tell you where you are, in what reality you are in. When you see the green filter, you are inside the Matrix. The Matrix has this green haze to everything. When you are outside of the Matrix, in the Zion City world, then there is a blue filter over the screen. And so then you know that you are in the Matrix or outside of the Matrix. But now there is a place beyond, the place of transcendence. If the Matrix is 3D, then the blue world is the ether world of 4D. But like I said, both these are simulations. Eventually we move on to the gold world. The gold world is beyond 5D. It is the place we go to when we ascend. When Neo loses his sight and he cannot see with his own physical eyes, yet he can still see. And what he sees is this gold, this incredible gold atmosphere and surroundings. Everything around him is gold. Neo transcends death and the limitations of the Matrix. Neo, in heart consciousness, sees reality for what it really is. In that realm, it is heart consciousness that rules. In the gold realm, it is heart consciousness that rules. To see what he could not see before, now the infinite spirit is observing the world. Not only his mind and not only his soul, he sees the world from beyond body and from beyond soul.
Checken Sie den Puls.
Ist tot.
Oh. Das war's dann, Mr. Anderson.
Neo, ich habe jetzt keine Angst mehr. Das Orakel hat mir gesagt, dass ich mich verliebe und dass dieser Mann, der Mann, den ich liebe, der Auserwählte ist. Du siehst also, du kannst unmöglich tot sein. Und jetzt steh auf.
Nein. Wie kann das sein? Der Auserwählte.
So what allows this simulation that we live in to continue? What makes it just carry on and we don't seem to wake up to the fact that we are inside the matrix? It has to do with a word called fragmentation. Fragmentation, leading to a sense of separation, is what allows simulation reality to prevail. We keep thinking in terms of me, myself, and I, the phantom self. And we believe that we are alone, when in reality, we are one with everything. Once that revelation comes to you that we are not alone, but that we are one with each other, one with nature, and one with the universe, that is when the matrix comes to an end. It is only lonely, separate individuals who can live and who are dominantly living in the matrix. The heart can heal the fragmentation. The heart can bring oneness. The heart can connect us with our spirit. The heart can connect us with our spirit, which then infuses its love and wisdom into the entrapped divine spark soul mind and all body levels of reality. We awaken, and together the world awakens. We awaken. That's what ascension is. That's what coming out of the matrix is. It is waking up. The sleeper has to awaken. Let us now look at the infinite heart. Heart self-identity is the secret to escaping the matrix. We open the heart and access its infinite potential by self-identifying with the heart. We become the heart and the infinite spirit with which it can potentially connect. Heart self-identity is the secret to escaping the matrix. Energy flows where attention goes. Self-identity is a form of attention. When you identify with the labels of human, male, female, my job, etc., you will have an auric heart. The auric heart is the lowest heart reality. But when you identify with being a soul, then you will have a soul heart reality. The choice is with us. We decide what reality we want to live in. When you identify with being an unbounded spirit and the all that is incarnate, then you will have an infinite heart reality. So the auric heart reality is the green filter in the matrix. The soul heart reality is the blue filter in the matrix. And the unbounded spirit and the all that is incarnate reality, the infinite heart reality, is the gold filter in the matrix. When the heart awakens, you expand into the spirit that you are. The simulation cannot control such individuals. If you don't believe the simulation is real, then it is not real. When the heart awakens, you awaken from the dream as Neo did. The body will continue decoding its reality, but you are now the spirit observing with wisdom what controlled you before. So there are two individuals in this world. There is the individual that lives in the matrix and is totally blind, totally oblivious to any other reality or dimension outside. He only focuses on his 3D physical world. But then there is individuals that walk among us who are not trapped by the matrix. Yes, they live in the matrix. It's possible to live in the matrix and to be totally free, to be aware of these other dimensions, and perhaps to be able to move from one dimension to the next dimension. Just like the angels that ascended and descended on Jacob's ladder from one dimension to another dimension. We become like the angels who are able to move between dimensions because we are now free of the entrapment of 3D reality. The body will continue decoding its reality in 3D, but you are now the spirit observing with wisdom what controlled you before. And that's what Jesus means when he says we are in the world, we live in this world, but we are not of the world. We realize that we are not part of the world system, the 3D matrix system. You can exit the maze by seeing that it is a maze designed to capture and dictate your reality. Identification with spirit will transport you to the realm of spirit when the moment comes to withdraw from the body. The goal of life is to ascend beyond 3D, beyond 4D, even beyond 5D, to escape the trap of reincarnation. The heart is the seat, the potential seat of the true I during a human life. We are the heart, the awareness of the heart, which duality of mind, emotion has disconnected us from. What we need is not a mind awakening, but a heart awakening. The human race desperately needs a heart awakening. Don't mess with the heart. Thoughts create feelings, and feelings create behavior, and behavior reinforces thoughts. Love and wisdom of the heart bring balance to every life situation. Emotion by itself fears and panics. Thought by itself mistakenly believes in the illusion of the matrix. Thought is entirely wrapped up in matrix existence. Thought desperately seeks to understand what makes emotion so upset and distraught, but thought cannot. Thought perceives only those parts which don't seem to fit or make sense, and so thought is in confusion. Heart wisdom looks on from a much higher frequency and beyond frequency, where it knows that everything is one. The heart knows that fear is the biggest illusion. The heart knows there is nothing to fear. It knows that death does not exist, and so not to be feared or looked upon with doom. Wisdom knows that death is only a transfer of attention. It's moving your focus from one reality to another reality. That's simply what death is. Don't be afraid of death. The more you understand about death, the less fear you will have for it. The heart knows how to separate what really matters from that which is minor and insignificant. 99% of the things we worry about are all things that we worry about that might happen in the future. But in reality, none of those things will happen. The only place those worries are happening is in your mind. The heart knows exactly why people behave and react the way they do. The heart will expose the truth, no matter how unpopular it is to do so. The heart is beyond fear of consequences and what others may think and say about its stance. The Bible says, set your mind on the things which are above. Above what? Above 3D. Not on the things which are on the earth. Where's that? Matrix 3D reality. When my heart is pure and my actions sincere, I have nothing to fear. The heart will look evil in the eye and smile, but it will not budge or blink. How can the heart be made to submit when fear is the currency of control and the heart is without fear? Courage is to feel fear and to do it anyway. Yaldabaoth can be no match for the heart when its own heart has a padlock on the door. Remember, the Archons have no heart. Remember, Yaldabaoth does not operate with heart energy because they do not have it. And they are very jealous and envious of us humans that have a heart and have heart flow and heart energy. Moving our point of reference and self-identity from head and belly to the heart is how we sort out the mess. It all comes down to these three parts of our lives, these three anatomical and spiritual organs in our bodies: the heart, the mind, and the belly. One leaps for the panic button, emotion. The other, thought, can see no answer except 5 sense answers that are not answers at all. So we either jump to emotion or we jump to thought, to the 5 sense reality. The mind cannot think straight amid emotional pandemonium and often resorts to the factory settings of religious, political, and cultural responses in the absence of wisdom. We fall into the trap of tradition and religion when we cannot access heart energy. Clarity only comes when the heart is directing head and belly. If the heart is not in control and the head and the belly are in control, that is when things are out of control. Divided, they fall. But together, heart, mind, and body are unstoppable. If there is coherence, if there is unity between heart, emotion, and thought, then we are unstoppable. Navigating the simulation minefield of lies, deceit, and misdirection can be impossible for isolated emotion and mind. If you're operating only with mind and belly, you need heart, you need the wisdom of the heart to guide you through the obstacles of this life. Life can be very confusing if there is no heart to guide you. Here are some quotes about the heart that I found very inspiring and intriguing. The heart does not take sides, as in taking a stance purely for religious, political, and or cultural reasons. The heart has no religion. The heart has no politics. The heart has no culture. Love and wisdom speak their own truth, not someone else's. Who am I? Who are we? We are infinite awareness, infinite spirit. And the heart is our connection to the true I. The heart is where our infinite self resides. Focus on the heart. See the heart as the center of the real you. Everything else is add-ons and illusions. When you face a stressful or fearful situation and your head and belly kick off, move your attention back to the heart. If you're too much in the mind, come back to the heart. If you're too much in the belly, come back to the heart. Your heart will give you the expanded perspective to see what matters and what does not matter, and it usually doesn't. If it does matter, your heart will provide the wisdom to respond with balance and integrity. Heart-centered people don't road rage. Heart-centered people don't scream and shout. And heart-centered people don't fear. They don't operate in the emotion of fear. In the heart, you find the calmness of love and wisdom in the midst of a storm. So while the storm is raging, you are at peace because you are heart-centered. Peace in the storm. Mind and emotion without the balance of heart divides and isolates us from each other and infinite reality. Heart, with its connection to spirit, lifts us to the frequency of unity and harmony. Why do we hug each other? We hug each other so that our hearts can get closer to each other. When you hug, two hearts become one in the hugging because we want to be one and we realize that we are one. Superheroes have a symbol on their chest like Batman or Spider-Man or Superman. Their symbol, that which represents them, their character, their personality, is symbolized on the chest in the chest area. Escaping the wheel of samsara. To leave the body, knowing what the game is, and in a heart-centered frequency and perception, must release us from the wheel of samsara. Withdrawing our belief in the dream must step by step release us from the dream. How do we get out of here? How do we get out of the 3D matrix? We know that there is no here as we perceive it. You are not really here. Not really. It is only your avatar that is here. We are not here except as a point of attention. Where are we really? We are everywhere. That reality has to dawn on us. There has to be an inner knowing in our hearts that we are not in the matrix, but that we exist everywhere. I am a paintbrush on an infinite canvas of possibility. I am what I am until I am something else in the infinity of potential, in the eternity of forever. The infinity that we left in the blink of an eye of perceived long ago awaits our return. Remember who you really are. Live who you really are. From that, all else will follow. Be love, be wise, and be heart. Some hang on to used to be, live their lives looking behind. All we have is here and now. All our lives out there to find. Love lifts us up where we belong. We don't belong here. We belong out there, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow, up where we belong. Song by Jennifer Awarness and Joe Cocker, 1982. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Chateau Picard, the best wine in the galaxy. Bye-bye. Live long and prosper.
Star trekking across the universe.
On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
Star trekking across the universe.
Slowly going forward 'cause we can't find reverse.
Lieutenant, report.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
Analysis. Mr. Spock.
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it. Captain